In the heart of a village long since erased from modern maps, the faint hum of secrets reverberated through the stone walls of old buildings. The village, once bustling with life, now stood as a ghostly reminder of time's passage. Ivy clung to the ancient structures, and the cobblestone streets whispered the forgotten tales of yesteryears. Elara, a historian known for her unyielding quest for the obscure, found herself wandering the narrow, winding streets of this forgotten place. Her research had led her here, to uncover relics of the past and perhaps a story worth telling. The village was an enigma, devoid of modern trappings, and it seemed as though time had stood still. Drawn inexplicably to a quaint antique shop, she found its worn sign barely legible, curiosities and antiquities. The door creaked open, revealing a dimly lit interior that smelled of aged paper and dust. Shelves lined with artifacts and relics cast eerie shadows on the walls. The shopkeeper, an elderly man with piercing eyes and a cryptic smile, watched her intently. As she roamed the aisles, her eyes fell upon an ornate box. Its intricate carvings and cryptic symbols seemed to whisper her name. She reached out and touched it, feeling an unexplainable connection. Ignoring the heavy sense of foreboding, she purchased the Tarot of the Forgotten, oblivious to the darkness it harbored. "Are you sure you want this, dear?" the shopkeeper asked, his voice gravelly and old. Elara nodded, her curiosity overpowering any lingering doubts. Little did she know that this seemingly innocuous deck of cards would unravel a tale of terror beyond her wildest imagination. Settling into her study that night, Elara's excitement overshadowed her unease. The fire crackled in the hearth as she unwrapped the deck, the ornate carvings gleaming in the low light. The first card she drew sent a chill down her spine, the Forgotten, depicting a faceless figure shrouded in shadows. The artistry was exquisite yet unsettling. It felt as if the figure's empty gaze was piercing through her soul. That night, her dreams were plagued by haunting visions. She wandered through an endless maze, shadows whispering around her, their words unintelligible, but filled with dread. She felt lost, her cries for help swallowed by the void. In the distance, she could see the faceless figure from the card, beckoning her closer. The following morning, Elara awoke drenched in sweat, her heart pounding. The dream had felt disturbingly real. She shook off the eerie feeling and dismissed it as a mere figment of her imagination, a result of her overactive curiosity. But the weight of the deck lingered in her mind, a persistent reminder of the unknown. Morning brought with it a sense of dread that hung heavy in the air. The news of a local villager gone missing spread like wildfire. The disappearance eerily mirrored the faceless figure from Elara's dream. Disturbed by the connection, she delved into the history of the tarot deck. Local legends spoke of a curse tied to forgotten souls, those who had vanished from memory, leaving only shadows in their wake. It was said that each draw of the card was a step closer to unveiling their fate. The cursed deck had been passed down through generations, bringing misfortune to all who possessed it. As Elara researched, she found references to the deck in old manuscripts and journals. Each account spoke of disappearances and tragedies that followed the deck's appearance. The Tarot of the Forgotten was no ordinary deck. It was a harbinger of doom, revealing the fates of those long erased from memory. Days morphed into nights, and Elara's existence became a tapestry of terror. Each card drawn foretold another disappearance, another soul swallowed by the abyss. Her attempts to seek help from scholars and historians were met with skepticism and disbelief. They dismissed her claims as the ramblings of an overworked mind. The deck's relentless grip tightened, reappearing every morning no matter how she tried to dispose of it. It seemed to pulse with a life of its own, each card a harbinger of doom. The faceless figure haunted her dreams, its whispers growing louder and more insistent. Elara's once peaceful home became a battleground between light and shadow. She began to see glimpses of the missing villagers, their eyes filled with sorrow and desperation. They seemed to be trapped in an endless limbo, their souls bound to the deck. Each night, the shadows grew darker, and the whispers more urgent. As the line between reality and nightmare blurred, Ilara found herself battling not just the curse, but her own sanity. Ghostly whispers haunted her, and specters flitted at the edge of her vision. She realized the curse did more than reveal fates, it was consuming her, erasing her existence piece by piece. Memories of her began to fade from the minds of those she loved, as if she was becoming one of the forgotten. Desperation clawed at her heart. Ilara knew she had to find a way to break the curse before it was too late. She scoured ancient texts and sought out forgotten rituals, hoping to uncover a solution. The journey took her to dark and forgotten corners of history, where she encountered remnants of the past that echoed her own plight. In her last desperate attempt to break the curse, Ilara uncovered a forgotten ritual buried in the depths of ancient texts. This ritual, if performed correctly, could banish the curse and free the tormented souls. On a storm-laden night, with lightning dancing across the sky, Ilara gathered the needed items and began the incantation. The air vibrated with tension as she chanted, but the shadows fought back, more malevolent than ever. The room darkened, and the faceless figure loomed over her, its presence suffocating. Ilara's voice wavered, but she pressed on, determined to end the curse once and for all. The struggle reached its zenith, as Ilara faced the very embodiment of the tarot's curse. The spirits of the forgotten surrounded her, their stories of pain and loss unfolding before her eyes. With a final, heart-wrenching act of self-sacrifice, Ilara completed the ritual. The tarot deck crumbled to ash, and the souls found their peace. Yet, Ilara was consumed by the shadows, her form becoming the final card of the cursed deck. Her sacrifice was not in vain, for the village was freed from the grip of the curse. The faceless figure dissolved into nothingness, and the whispers faded into silence. The village slowly healed, the dark cloud lifting and the disappearances ceasing. Life began to seep back into the cobblestone streets, and the once somber faces of the villagers now carried a glimmer of hope. Ilara's story became a legend, a cautionary tale whispered among villagers by the fireside. Children listened wide-eyed, as their elders spoke of the brave historian who dared to challenge the curse. But in the shadows, the remnants of the tarot's power still lingered. The last card of the Tarot of the Forgotten, depicting Ilara's sacrificial act, lay dormant, waiting for another soul to uncover its secrets. It was hidden in the deepest corner of the village library, entombed in a glass case, yet it seemed to pulsate with an unearthly glow. Despite the tranquility that had returned to the village, an unspoken wariness persisted. The villagers, though relieved, couldn't shake off the sense that the curse was merely lying in wait. The card, with its haunting depiction of Ilara, served as a constant reminder of the dangers of curiosity and the past best left undisturbed. In time, Ilara's sacrifice was commemorated with a small monument in the village square. Inscribed on the stone were the words, "To Ilara, who faced the darkness so we might live in light." Flowers adorned the base of the monument, a testament to the villagers' gratitude and memory of the forgotten souls who had finally found peace. Years passed, and the story of the Tarot of the Forgotten slipped into the realm of myth. But for the villagers, it was more than just a tale, it was a part of their history, etched into the very fabric of their existence. Ilara's legacy lived on, not just as a cautionary tale, but as a symbol of courage and resilience. Years passed, and the story of the Tarot of the Forgotten slipped into the realm of myth. But for the villagers, it was more than just a tale, it was a part of their history, etched into the very fabric of their existence. Ilara's legacy lived on, not just as a cautionary tale, but as a symbol of courage and resilience. One fateful evening, a young librarian named Marie stumbled upon the dusty, glass-encased card. Drawn by an inexplicable force, she felt an eerie connection to the image of Ilara. The card seemed to hum with a life of its own, beckoning her to touch it. Marie, a descendant of Ilara, could not resist the pull. As she reached out and touched the glass, a shiver ran down her spine. The room grew colder, and shadows danced along the walls. Whispers began to fill her ears, just as they had with Ilara. But this time, they were not just the voices of the forgotten, they were the voices of warning and guidance. The spirits, freed by Alara's sacrifice, now sought to protect Marie. They conveyed fragments of the ritual, urging her to keep the tarot sealed and hidden. They revealed the true nature of the curse, an eternal battle between memory and oblivion. Marie realized that the tarot of the forgotten was a sentinel, guarding against the forces that sought to erase history and memory. Determined to honor her ancestors' legacy, Marie dedicated her life to preserving the village's history. She became the guardian of the tarot, ensuring that its secrets remained safe. The village, aware of Marie's role, revered her as a protector and historian. And so, the tarot of the forgotten lay dormant, its curse contained, yet ever watchful. The village flourished, its people thriving in the light of remembrance. Alara's name was spoken with reverence, and her story passed down through generations. The curse of the tarot lived on, not as a malevolent force, but as a solemn reminder. It warned against the perils of forgotten histories and the importance of preserving the past. As long as the card remained, the village would never forget the darkness it had faced, nor the hero who had brought them into the light. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to join our storytelling community. Together, we'll explore more captivating and spine-chilling adventures.